What's wrong with the shot that you have, man?
Hey gang, Ross Brand here for LivestreamUniverse.com. Welcome to a special Tuesday night edition of Livestream Stars. Livestream Stars is the show where we feature talented broadcasters delivering high-quality content across live stream platforms. And our guest tonight is Mario Armstrong. Mario's just getting set up, so I will give the introduction. Hopefully, as soon as I'm done, we can get started with the show. I think everybody does know Mario, who's probably watching tonight, but you know, it's kind of formal to do the introduction anyway, so we will do that. Mario has created the world's first crowd-produced live streaming talk show with live participation from the in-studio and online audience. Co-produced by Roker Media, the Never Settle Show debuts April 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern on Facebook Live on the Entrepreneur Facebook page. Mario is a digital lifestyle expert and regular contributor on NBC's The Today Show, CNN, NPR. His appearances include Inside Edition, Dr. Mehmet Oz, Steve Harvey, The Rachael Show, and on and on. His honors and awards include an Emmy Award for Best TV Show Host in 2010. He also received an Emmy nomination in 2015 for Best Program Host. He's been a top 40 under 40 emerging leader as chosen by the Baltimore Business Journal. The National Urban League selected him as Technology Advocate of the Year. And you can find out more, of course, about Mario Armstrong at marioarmstrong.com. And you can learn about the Never Settle Show at neversettle.tv. And with that, let's welcome in the man himself, Mario Armstrong. Welcome, Mario. Great to see you. Glad you could join us for a little bit.
Hey, Ross, what's going on, buddy? How are you? So good to be here, man. Thanks so much for having me on.
Yeah, so we're all so excited about the Never Settle Show, and it's debuting April 5th, so it's right around the corner. Tell us the latest, what's going on, what we can expect, and I know you're working 24/7 to get this thing ready to roll out.
Yeah, and so first and foremost, I want to say my apologies for running a few minutes behind. I know that you're a guy that's on time with your show, so I apologize for any of your audience that may be expecting you to be right there and ready. But you're absolutely right. We are in the thick of it, so no excuses. But the reason why is because if I could show you this room right now, we have like several people working on this show at this moment. It's kind of a round-the-clock effort right now because what we're doing is really something that hasn't been done before to this degree of production level in live streaming. We're talking about, really having a different type of program that you would normally see on television that you would expect with high production values, lots of cameras, beautiful lighting, and all of those things that you would come to expect from a television show. We're doing that on a live streaming show. So we're having that with a live audience as well, which is a big differentiator because a lot of shows can come out and be a new talk show on a live streaming platform, but if it's just two people, that's something different. Or if it's even 4 people or 5 people, that's something different than when you're having a host that has a set that has different locations for that set to be used, that has multiple moving parts. I mean, we have a social media wall on the set where Shai and his team are going to be telling me and telling the audience in real time what's happening from the social media audience. We have a live band that's a female-led band. There's never been a female-led band, unfortunately, in talk show history, so we want to break that, and we crashed that glass ceiling. We have a bartender on the set, and we have a studio audience of up to 50 people. So it's a different effort altogether in that what we're trying to do is something that you would never do unless you're going to do it on network television. And we want to prove that you can have a dream, you can have a goal, and you can use the latest technology today to really create social TV so that you can have a live stream show that's at network broadcast quality, but that is the most interactive and innovative talk show out there. That's the goal and the dream.
That is awesome. And I think if anybody can pull it off, Mario, I think it's you because you understand both sides. You understand the TV side and you understand the live stream side. I'm hearing a bit of an echo. I don't know if you have the volume turned up in the background there, or if it's the platform.
The window needs to be shut too.
Okay. So I get a little feedback here. So what I was saying is that, a lot of times you see TV, right, try and integrate social media, or try and integrate the crowd, so to speak, and it's very forced, right? It's like you see a debate, and it's like, we're going to go out to Facebook for a question, and it's the same question anybody could have asked that was there. It's scripted. It's just because they're the sponsor. There's nothing spontaneous about it, right? Right. But you coming from live streaming and knowing how to engage a chat and knowing how to do more of a participatory show, that's what makes this so exciting, because you're kind of coming from the live streaming side and from the TV side. So neither element is foreign to you. How do you think that this is going to be received by people who come from TV and they see the way that you're able to bring in a community, both in producing the show, but also in asking questions and being a part of the show from the time it goes live until the time the curtain falls, so to speak?
I'm so glad that you asked that question. How's my audio, by the way?
It's great.
Okay. I'm so glad that you asked that question because, obviously I'm close to this project, obviously. But even if I wasn't as close as I am to this project, I would want this project to really shake the executive offices enough so that they say, how do we do that? Like that's the reaction that I'm going for, at least from that side of the house. If you ask, like, what would traditional TV people, what would their reaction be to what it is we're doing? I want them to be like, that's what we need to be doing. That's exactly, like, they're doing it. Mario and his team are doing exactly what we should have been doing a year or so ago. Like, because I just think it's very difficult, as we're finding out, to pull this off. And you have to have a certain set of skills. You have to have a team that has a certain set of skills, and you have to have a willingness to really fail. You have to really have a full-on commitment to trying something that's so big that you are willing to fail at it, as opposed to just being complacent and succeeding at doing something that you can actually deliver pretty easily. So we're nowhere near that easy comfort zone. We're very much in a very uncomfortable zone, but we've tried to assemble the smartest and the best partners and people around this process, so that if anyone could truly pull it off and at least show the promise, we hope that we're that show to point to. We hope that our show creates a new opportunity for many other live streamers. We hope that our show model shows live streamers how they can actually maybe do a bigger production. Not necessarily if you have to do one, but for me, see, it's very important that people know their purpose, and it's very important that people know their lane. For me, I don't resonate as well doing a one-on-one interview like this. Like, you do it very, very well. Can I do it? Have I done it? Sure. I've done it for CNN. I've done it for NPR. I've done it for major television, as well as for Today Show stories, as well as just for my own webcasts and things. But there's something about my energy and a live audience that changes the dynamic of the environment and the output that comes from me as well as the audience. And so once we really realize, Mario, you perform and do your best work when you're with an audience, when you're with another group of people. That's why we had to figure out, if we're going to do our own show, how do we do it with an audience? And so that's, kind of the trajectory that we were on. But certainly not everybody needs to do that. But if we can prove that we can be very interactive in real time, and as you mentioned, traditional TV is known for doing what we call edit, right? We edit things in post. We edit things after the fact. Or even if a show is live, we can take a comment from social media, make sure that comment goes through filtered systems, and then they take that comment. This is traditional media, how it's done. They then take that comment, apply a graphic to it, and then wait till later in the show to then show that graphic. That's not really real time.
Right.
We're talking about the ability to have a conversation with someone on the same set as myself, and then in real time be able to have another camera. I could look over to Shai, or I could look over on my phone, or look at the monitor that's going to be on set and say, we have a question right now from Lisa in Michigan. What's Lisa's question? And we could have that question be asked from our social media person, or even better, we have the ability to have you submit your question via video. So in the middle of the show, I could say, submit your question via video on Instagram and tag it Never Settle Question. Right. And then anyone that does a video on Instagram on their public account, or Twitter for that matter, on their public account, we would be able to bring in the technology that we have, can track the hashtags, can bring that in to a specific display that's then shown on set. So then we can either hit play on that and it goes full screen, or we could show it onto the big monitor that's on the set. The point is, we have real-time ways of interacting with the audience, and that's never really been done before in TV.
And what you said, I mean, it hits home so much because, well, we're all rooting for you because we like you and you're a great guy. Even if we didn't like you, we need this to succeed, right? Because, as you said, this is going to open up a ton of opportunities for other people when people see how somebody talented like yourself is able to take the live streaming format, combine it with TV, and put together a successful produced show. And so this is going to give real legitimacy to everybody that's doing live streaming shows on platforms. I'm sure you've had people who you work with at networks and stuff say to you, what are you doing? You're an Emmy winner. You're on CNN, NBC, all this stuff. Everybody knows you. What are you messing around with that social media stuff for? I mean, has that been kind of like, how have you had to either deal with those things or deflect them, or what has been your response if you've gotten that kind of pushback?
I mean, Ross, I really appreciate the question, because I think that people think that this would just be easy. When you say what you say, he's on TV already, he should have contacts. He's in traditional media, on the Today Show, on a major show that goes into millions of households every single morning. You would think like, oh, well, sure, either he has a ton of money, so he can go ahead and invest in making this happen, or he's got a ton of connections that's going to make this work for him. And I can tell you, I don't have either. That's what's kind of weird about this whole thing. It's like meeting your favorite actor for the first time, and you realize they're just like this really cool, down-to-earth person that just eats hamburgers. You realize I'm just another human being is what I'm getting at, just trying to achieve my vision. Yeah, I've gotten to certain levels of success for things that I've pursued, but that didn't equate to me spending, $135,000 on trying to launch this 6-episode program. We had to go and find a sponsor for that. Yeah, we're digging into our credit cards. We don't want to, but I'm digging into my credit cards right now because maybe 70% of the budget is actually covered. So Nicole and I, my wife, but the CEO of this company, has a stack of credit cards. I think Shai's going to be uploading that picture sometime soon on social, just because it's it's very important when you're doing something that's brand new. I feel it's very important to be very transparent, because I think the sharing and the learning that you can get if someone's being very authentic and transparent through the potholes, the challenges, and the issues that they're having along the way, if that can help someone else not go through the same things that I've had to go through and my team has had to go through, I would be so ecstatic to know that our hard work not only helped to launch this thing, but also helped to steer people in the right direction to launch their thing. We're not building the Mario Armstrong show. We're building the Never Settle show. The Never Settle show is a psychology. It's a mentality. It's about pursuing what you want your life to be like. It's about you finding success in what that means to you, whether that means you get to choose who you work with, whether that means you get better insight on how you can get the career that you want, or how you can obtain the degree that you want to get, or how you can launch your new business based off of your hobby and your passion. It's about never settling and not giving up. So we're a team of doers. We're a team of triers. We're a team of people that see potential in things, and we're willing to go to the toe of the edge of that cliff to really see what's possible. And so I think that, to me, is really the part of what makes this so special and different, because not only do we have great technologies to integrate the audience into it, but we have the right mindset and the right mission for the show. The show is rooted in positive intent to inspire people to do their thing. We hope to have guests on our show that you haven't heard of before.
Right.
So that when you hear of them for the first time, you become a new fan of someone that you so pumped up about that helps that person now grow. So we want our show to be as powerful as a motivator and giving great quality content to people, but also at the same time being a platform to help others shine on. And in order to do that, we have to be coming to it from a place of non-selfishness. We have to be coming to it from a place of not being self-centered. But I can tell you this. I've been getting two different reactions from traditional media. The first reaction is when we went to the offices with our media kit, which, by the way, you can go right to our website. And that's one of the things we're doing. You can download my media kit. You want to see how I'm pitching the show right now? You want to see what the media kit looks like? The whole media kit's not there, but a good portion of the media kit is on the site. All you got to do is go to neversettle.tv/learn-more, and you can download the PDF of the media kit. So I'm giving you a blueprint right there on how you can set up your own, how do you position the who, what, when, where, why, and how, so that you can go and approach sponsors or other partners or distribution. I will tell you this, we had a beautiful media kit. We went to several networks, very high level, people that have worked on big shows like Steve Harvey, Oprah Winfrey Show, major talk shows, Ellen, and they told me, you're a great talent and you're awesome on air, but no one wants to take notes. No one wants information anymore. They just want entertainment. The Oprah days, literally, the quote was, the Oprah days are over. And I just, being someone like yourself, that's not true. Right. You know that you've been on Periscope since it started. I've been on Periscope and Meerkat since it started. And we've seen the types of content that gets done. There's so much personal development and motivational and inspiring type of content. There's so many how-tos. There's so many experts that are on social right now that are delivering their expertise because that's their lane. And now they can do so if they turn the camera on. And people are on the other side of the phone taking notes.
Right.
So we know this is actually happening, but yet you're so removed from it that you can't see it. So that's been the biggest reaction, is being laughed out of offices, like literally looked at like our idea is like, oh, that's a playful little hobby.
Right.
Like those are Crayola crayons, but we're doing real artwork over here. We're Van Gogh. That's Crayola.
I mean, YouTube's kind of made a business out of people searching how to blank, 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 right? I mean, and so live streaming is no different, and there are people doing live videos the same way people used to put recorded videos up, except that you can take questions and you can interact and you can get clients, you can get customers, you can grow your audience, all because there's that live interaction. And I mean, you can see from the comments how excited people are for what you're doing. Just want to say a quick hello. Michael Campbell's here. Leslie Nance, of course, who will be in New York for the Shorty Awards, up for Periscoper of the Year. Joy Farrington, Yasmin Hayes, Tina Shang. Of course, the good folks from the Never Settle show are here supporting you. Lisa Jackson is here. Barb Tomlin, Katie Miller. Wow, what a great turnout for Mario. Please do share this out and let everybody know. Let all your friends who might not be part of the live streaming community know about Mario's show, and that the Never Settle show is launching on April 5th. Neversettle.tv is where you can get more information. April Roga has been a huge supporter of the show. Jen Nelson, great to see Jen. Terry Johnson's here. Brad Friedman, I wish I could say hello to everybody. You just bring out a crowd. You can't get to everybody. Eduardo's here. Let's see who else. Jeff Adams, the great Jeff Adams. Chris Strub, who's been working with you. He's been super active in promoting. Busy. Yeah, definitely. The great Jeff Adams from Be Live TV. Terry Johnson. Jennifer Quinn is here. Great to see everybody. Thanks everybody. If I missed anybody, I love that you're all here. Please do share this out. So what does it come down to, like, in the last week? Because we're basically like a week away about? I mean, really at this time, right? 7 p.m. Eastern time, come next Wednesday, April 5th, we'll be live. And it's an incredible feeling. I got to say, I'm looking at my phone, and I know I'm on a delay here with Facebook, looking at it through my phone.
But seeing all of the people that are coming in here, as you mentioned, Tina, Lisa, Michael, Barb, all these people, Yasmin, Leslie, Joy, it's an incredible feeling to know that there is Jackie Robinson put it the best. Jackie Robinson has a quote, and the quote is, one's life doesn't matter except in the impact it has on others' lives. And so if a life doesn't really, if you really listen to that and decide to adopt that as your thing, which I've done, then having an impact to others' lives is more important than my particular life. And so we are David, guys, and I'm being straight up honest with you. Anyone will tell you that really has known me or has followed me for at least 3 months or more, they know I stay consistent about keeping it real. I stay consistent about showing you all my ranges of emotions, because some days we're on cloud 9 and we feel like we're taking on the world and we're chopping that beanstalk down. And then on other days, we just feel like the giant has just stepped on our necks and it's completely just put us into the ground, and that there's no way to come. I mean, literally yesterday, part of the team was just like, including me, like I drove this. Like, why are we doing this again? Like, what are we trying to do? Like, why are we putting ourselves through so much punishment? My hands are trembling right now because it's real. Like, why are we putting ourselves through so much hard work? Like, why isn't this easier? It's a daunting, and this, my situation is no different than a lot of others. I'm not trying to make my thing look like my thing is so hard and I need everyone to root for me and woe is me. I'm not trying to come across that way, because what's going on in your world is just as difficult. I just don't happen to know it unless you tell us on, through live streaming or through social media. So if I don't know what the pain or the trauma or the suffering that you're going through, I can't empathize with it. So, but it's no different. Because what's big in your world, no matter if that means you just want to be a great parent or if that means you want to create the next Apple, what's ever really important and big in your world, it means something inside of you, to a point where it chokes you up, like It's doing to me right now. Because we have so many people that are putting their heart and soul into a vision. And, we're a week away. I'm sorry, man. I just,
no, it's awesome.
It's an emotional, anybody that's gone through trying to achieve their thing knows what it feels like. No matter how big or how small you may think it is, it's big in your world, so it's big to you. Right. And this is a monumental effort. I saw that, I think it was Barb that asked, why didn't we crowdsource this, crowdfund it? And the reason why, we were asked so many times to crowdfund this, but the economics of doing a real full-scale TV-style talk show is a minimum of $70,000 per episode. That's a minimum. If you are really doing full-on production the way it's really done by the big entities, that's the bare bones minimum for an episode. There's no way I could even begin to ask people to donate $500,000 or $200,000 to be able to do, 6 or so episodes. The reason we're doing 6 is because that constitutes a season. So our goal is to at least get a season shows done, and then take the summer off and move into season 2. We believe that with the analytics that we're going to be using, the Nielsen measurement, we're not just talking Facebook Insights or other social media tools. We're talking about using Nielsen. Nielsen is a ratings company for the TV industry and for digital. And Nielsen is a respectable third party. So we called Nielsen and said, hey, we're doing a live streaming show. How do we get analytics from Nielsen into our software? Can we hook these APIs? Can you guys hook in together so that we can get real third-party data so that we can go back to the TV executives, or we can go out to the marketing world and actually say, here's what Nielsen says about our numbers. This is not a hobby for us. This is not something that we're taking lightly. We spent $2,500 of our own money on a third-party market research survey done by a great company called Leftline, who normally charges $25 to $30K for that particular market survey. They were willing to do it for us for $2,500. We paid that money so that we could actually get real data from the people. So
Right.
This is something that we have been working on for 2 years. Like the whole process of taking the idea, shooting our own pilot. We spent $18,000 in Rachael Ray's studio. What was that, 2 summers ago? Was that 2 summers? 2 summers ago.
April.
April, right. 2 years ago to shoot the demo, to shoot the pilot.
Right.
And then we shot the pilot. The traditional path to getting your show on TV is that you shoot a pilot and then you shop that pilot to the networks. Well, we went that process and then figured out that the networks weren't giving us a chance in hell to make this happen. So
Right.
then we spent 8 months lost trying to pitch. And then we realized, wait, we're pitching the wrong audience. We're pitching people that don't get it. What if we took it straight to the viewer? Well, let's do a survey. Let's pay to get a survey done so that we can make sure it's just not an emotional decision that we're making. Because I believe that when you have the science and the data to also back up your emotion, then you are in your true destiny. When you have the science and the data to really match up together, you're in your true zone because you've done the homework and you know that it feels right. So all of that to say that it's a very expensive undertaking. We don't have 1 camera, 2 cameras, 3 cameras. We have 5 cameras potentially throughout the whole entire show. There's a whole lighting thing that's being set up and put in place to make sure that areas of the audience as well as different elements of the set are well lit. It's just a lot of effort. And then the biggest thing is like the people. Like what keeps us waking up every single morning is the fact that we're doing a show that we know can be super innovative, can be super breakthrough, but more importantly, should be able to really genuinely help other people. Case in point, I'm going to say this really quick because this has been startling to me. Here we are, because I get frustrated about this. You guys are getting all the real emotions. So if you have any real questions you want to ask me, you're going to get a real answer. And this is the time to do it, because when we're on the show, we're not going to have all of this time to really dig in. But I will say this real quick, and then I'll stop to let Ross jump in. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of on a roll, and you kind of caught me.
Great stuff. This is great stuff.
Yeah, and hopefully people are learning from our experience. That's what we've really been trying to do, and I really want to share more. Like I shot a little bit of Shy on the conference call today because he was really doing some amazing things during the conference call that I thought other people, I just streamed it quickly on Periscope because I thought other people could learn from what he was doing on a conference call. But so we're very transparent. You know, I really like to teach through transparency. You know, my parents think it's too much transparency because I'll cry on camera. But I don't. I think it's helpful. And I got to be honest, you know, sometimes you just need somebody else to talk to outside of the team. And the social community provides that. But I want to say this because it's very important that people hear this. When we are putting call to actions out for you guys, we're asking you to be involved in the show. We don't want you to hesitate with that. We really need you to participate. We really are expecting you to really push the limits on being a part of a live social-driven TV show. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because right now we have a set of editors. My favorite team out of Vegas is editing the show Open. And in the show Open, we have been asking people, regular, everyday people that are a part of the community, to take a picture of themselves with their favorite word written on a sheet of paper, like take a selfie with your favorite, Ross, you did this, take a picture with your favorite word and your location. And if you take a picture of that, we're going to try and see how many of these things we can get into the show Open. So right off the bat, it's not just going to be a show Open about all you see is Mario, 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 Mario. Yeah, you'll see me for a minute. You'll see me in New York City. You'll see me on the hustle and on the grind because that's true to my story. But instantly, it moves from the minimal of that to the majority of focusing on People in Australia are watching the show. People in London are watching the show. People in Texas are watching the show. And having these images from real viewers be a part of the open of the show, every single open. Like, we're starting from a whole different place, guys. We're trying to break the rules on how a show is done and what it means to the people that don't normally get the opportunity to get that type of exposure. I mean, we're doing this with their social handles.
Right.
So your social handle pops up at the open of the show, and some of you are going to be surprised. Some of you may not make it in this round, but some of you may be surprised when you wake up Wednesday and you watch the show and you see your face and your word and your social handle on the show open. And we just think things like that will permeate throughout the entire show just makes this a completely different type of community-driven social TV show.
I love that you're getting the statistics and the data from Nielsen, because you're putting it in the language that advertisers understand. It's not that necessarily that's the most accurate way to measure, or it's so much better than the data that we get from social media, which, if anything, probably has far more touch points with the audience than does traditional TV measuring. But nonetheless, if this is what the advertisers and the media buyers and all that make their decisions based on, I think that's brilliant. And I've never heard anybody online doing that, going to Nielsen and saying, give us the data and put it in the language that the people that are likely to sponsor our show and advertise on our show speak and understand. So I think that's huge, and that's gonna be something other live streamers, if they want to make that move to the next level, need to look at. Let's get some questions while we have a chance. Chris Strub asks, how have the co-producers meetings changed the direction of the show?
It's a great question, and this is something that we haven't even touched on, which is the actual production process. Another reason why network executives and others in traditional media couldn't understand what we were trying to accomplish is because they want to be gatekeepers. Let's just be honest. They want to control much of the outcome. And I would also say that, unfortunately, they're probably in a world, too, where sponsorships actually run the content. Believe it or not, to a large degree, sponsorships can run the content. So how do we balance that? We still have to be funded. We still need sponsorships. How do we balance that? We can talk about, that advertising model and the integration model in just a little bit. But when we brought these things to their attention, and crowd production was one of those things, to Chris's question, how has crowd production, how has opening our meetings up? We have been opening every single live streaming, every single meeting that we've had every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. There'll be one tomorrow. Our last one before we go live will be tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we would love for everyone here on Ross's show to be able to come and participate. And what we do is we give you a seat at the table. Like, nobody does this because they want to control the content that their editors come up with in a closed room and then want to bring it to you on air. And we're saying, well, if we're making a show for people to watch, doesn't it make the most sense to ask people to be a part of the process? And so what we've been learning from that is that it's tough. It's not easy to ask people to be involved. You have to be very specific. We learned quickly that you have to ask very specific things if you really want to have their input shape and change the show. I'm holding up a t-shirt right now that we had made. I don't know how well that's translating. Shai, you may tell me if it's translating at all. But we had a t-shirt made. Looks good. And if you can see the bar graph on that t-shirt, it basically shows you real-time votes that were coming in for different topics that we were looking at having for guests on our first show. And overwhelmingly, in that particular crowd producers meeting, most people said they want to hear a story about someone leaving their 9 to 5. We knew 35% of the people that were a part of that crowd producers meeting wanted to see a story about leaving your 9 to 5 successfully. So what's going to happen on the first episode? When you look at April 5th show, it's going to be 2 guests that are going to be on set talking about how to leave your 9 to 5 successfully. It's like we're actually taking what you're saying, asking you questions to be involved in shaping the segments, picking the guests, coming up with topics, generating ideas. And then we're saying, yeah, let's take some of that information and actually build that piece into the show. Let's prove it to them that we actually are listening and it's not just lip service.
That the people might actually know what they want to watch and what they'll tune in for. Right?
I mean, the interview's over now, Ross. That's it. That's the end of it. We're done.
Let's get to a couple more questions. Tina Shang asks, with the talk show feature on Be Live TV rolling out, how open are you to the possibility of pulling people in from the at-home audience to participate on air?
This is a great question and one that I've been struggling with, because the best software to work within a full-on production system is more than likely Skype. More than likely Skype. I'm just not a big fan of using something that's been around for such a long time. I'll tell you this. We've talked to just about every single live streaming company that's out there, but that question hasn't been posed. So Tina's actually making me think, hey, did we maybe not unturn every single rock on this? Maybe we should be sending an email to Be Live and saying, would you be able to do something specific for us? Right now, the way that it would work is that we would more than likely have you come in through, we can still do things like live through Periscope. Right. We can have you come in, live through Instagram. So there are definitely like those two things, and we're looking at some other stuff too, because we do want to include that piece. But right now it's more than likely going to be Skype, and I just don't want it to be Skype. No offense, Skype, nothing against you, but I just, I just feel like that's been around for 10 years, and I just want to do something new and different. That's
right. What can we do in the next week to help you build momentum and, help you? How can we help you is the question, between now and when the show launches next week?
The thing that someone asked me the other day, what's the thing that you're worried about the most? And it's just like anybody else. I don't care if you have a book that you've just recently finished. Maybe you have completed or put a new face on your new website. Maybe you have, launched a new storefront for a new product. You don't know who's going to show up. And the most fearful thing is that we put in all this work and all this effort, and we hear all these great comments about this is awesome, this is innovative, groundbreaking. But if people don't show up, none of this matters.
Right.
Like there's just no other thing to say other than the most important thing you can do is decide to commit to giving us at least 40 minutes once a week to see if we can deliver on what we're promising. And if you can be the biggest advocate in helping get 10 to 20 of your friends to also watch. And the way to do this is to not just show up Wednesday at 7. I mean, take it very serious. If you think that this show may have the potential to help the live streaming community, if you think that this show may have the potential to take a video from you and put it on air to showcase your story, or that you may learn from a guest, or if you've been following me for the years and you know that I've been a man of my word and that I try to deliver more than I promise, then the most heartful thing that you guys can do is follow Entrepreneur Magazine's Facebook page. If you're on Facebook, which everyone here is, right? So follow Entrepreneur Magazine Facebook page. They're our distributor. God bless them. They came in, we met with them, had a great meeting. I called them, I emailed them randomly to see if this was a potential fit. And we can do a whole other episode on how to close deals and how to make sales for your dream and your vision. But nonetheless, to say that if you pick up, do we have April's magazine? Does someone, where's my backpack? I don't know where April's magazine is. In April's magazine, this month's magazine, it's out now in the stores. You can actually go get it. Go grab the magazine and flip open to page 67. You will see a full page ad for the Never Settle show on page 67 in the magazine. Everyone should go to that website, like their page, and then when we go live or anytime Entrepreneur Network goes live, if you could subscribe to their notifications, that would be huge. The other thing you could do is join the Never Settle Show Facebook page. Like, go to Never Settle Show. We're in the chat right now. We have the team in the chat with you guys right now. So just click on the profile and add it. Like, that's simple, easy done. Just add the profile and then sign up for any live notifications that we do. Our website is neversettle.tv. So if you could, we would also love for you to join the mailing list. If you have not joined the email list, we're very cautious about overdoing it in email. No one wants more email, we get it. But if you would really like to make sure you're getting the behind the scenes when we take the show on the road, if you want to have a voice in ideas, thoughts, and suggestions, the email list is the best way to really get a capsule of everything that we're doing. So I would just really say that is the most important thing, but really it's for you to get 10 to 20 of your friends. I need you to go on social media like right now and show me that you care about the show. And I don't mean that in a way that you don't care about the show. I just mean it in a way that we can't launch to crickets. We cannot launch to crickets. And 200 people isn't going to do it. If we want to shake the trees, if we want to prove that live streaming is a really viable industry that individuals with one camera and a microphone can build a business based off of, or can get a voice and can make a movement take place, if we want to help prove that, we think that we're at the other end of the spectrum, of the far end of that the extreme part of the spectrum with all the cameras and all the things. But if we don't have an audience that's significant, we are going to look like Crayola, as I said earlier. The execs were looking at us like they're painting Van Goghs and we got Crayola crayons at the little kiddie table. And so I need people to get fired up. I need people to understand, like, this isn't just about watching some show. There's a bigger cause, a bigger reason, a bigger mission behind this. And it's just that important. It's just that important. It really, I mean, I can't tell you, guys, we've had so many things, we've had so many roadblocks, and then those roadblocks have been getting removed. And the only thing that you can attribute to it is because the positive energy that we're putting out with this project is so strong that even when we're getting roadblocks, and we may get frustrated, or we may get aggravated, and then we may like go into meditation, and then we may relax, or as I call it, float, when you just kind of like let patience become the power. And when you let patience become the power, you find that you're open to new answers, to maybe bigger problems that you've had. And I just feel that every single element of this show is so special. I mean, down to the person that's the bartender on the set is not just some bartender. We were having such a problem. I'll be quiet after this quick story, but we've been having such a problem getting a bartender on the set. Do we have a liquor license? No. How do you get one? Oh my gosh, the process is this, that, and the other. The beautiful offices that our studio is in, which is a tech company called Canary, they don't have a liquor license. They're a tech company. And they've been gracious enough to let us use their office space, which is going to look amazing on camera. But we can't get a liquor license to even give wine or beer to the studio audience guests. We have a red carpet at the show. We have a step and repeat. We have photographers. The people that actually come and get tickets to the show are going to be treated like VIP attendees. I've been on Steve Harvey, Rachael Ray, Dr. Oz. I've been Katie Couric. I've been on so many talk shows so many times. I know what the process is normally like for them to, how they work with their attendees. And ours is completely different. It's just a different experience. And so when we wanted to find someone that was going to be able to do this bartender situation, it's down to the last week. And 3 days ago, we got on the phone with someone who happened to send me a blind email for something completely different because she has her own bottles of wine. And the name of her company is called Proud Pour. But her bottles, every bottle that you buy, goes to help the ocean, goes to help specifically oysters and the reefs, or honeybees. And she is the point I'm making is that she's never settled. And every single person that's involved in the show, the band, they have their own never settle story. Shy has his own never settle story.
Nicole has her own never settle story. Our senior producer, Adrian, has her own never settle story. And what we have found is that there's just so much of this power of energy that we're not in control. But the one thing that we can ask to hopefully control is that you guys show up and watch this damn show. Like, seriously.
And I think it's an awesome opportunity to introduce live streaming to friends and family who, you know, think the idea of taking a cell phone and going on Facebook Live or Periscope is nuts. It's a waste of time, whatever. So this is a great way to say, look at what people can do with live streaming, and look at, this is going to be sort of what you like from TV, but it's going to bring in the best of live streaming as well. So I think it's, you know, a lot of times we promote our shows and we promote them kind of to each other, to other live streamers, because that's who comes out and that's who supports. This can be an opportunity to kind of grow the audience for live streaming by letting people know, okay, this show is being hosted by an Emmy winner, by a guy who's been on all these traditional talk shows, who's been on the Today Show and CNN. And it's going to have an in-studio guest and an in-studio audience and a red carpet and all this. See what can be done on a show that's broadcast on Facebook Live. And I think when you talk about the topics that you're covering and the guests you're having, you're going to get a lot of people who probably have never bothered to try going live on their cell phone or even watching one, who are going to open up to this. And so definitely think about sharing this out, people beyond our social media and live streaming circles, because that's where the opportunity for all of us is to grow. Let people see what Mario is doing and let them get introduced to what's possible with a full production and with live streaming shows. So that's what I'm really excited about, is just that this is kind of like the breakout moment for live streaming. And, you know, when you look at the energy that people have in the chat and how much everybody's excited about it, how could this not succeed? I mean, this is going to be pretty amazing. And I have to say, you're very smart going with Wednesday, because I own 7 p.m. Eastern on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So.
Trust me, we did pay attention to some of the things that were already taking place. But I got to tell you, that also was driven by the market research survey we did. We found that most people that were already on Periscope or live streaming, we found, and this is a data point for many of you, we found that most people, at least for this particular show, they wanted to watch it in between 6 and 8 p.m. Monday through Wednesday were the best days of the week. So if there's any lesson that many of you might want to take back, if you're not getting the audience reach that would like to get right now, if you're not really breaking through, because maybe you're just so focused on creating great content, which is what you absolutely should be focused on, at least look at doing Google surveys. If you can't do Google surveys, then look at doing something through MailChimp or something like that, or SurveyMonkey, which is a lower level way of doing a survey. But if you go to Google surveys, you can actually have a survey programmed for particular outcomes that you're looking for, so that you can really get true data to answer those questions. So I just think that even having that really helped us out with knowing that Wednesdays at 7 was probably our best shot at the right time of day for people. And Ross, you've been in this business for a while, and you understand. You're asking incredible questions about, you know, Nielsen, and you understand the power of what that means. Once we get that data, and then we share the data with the live streaming community of what happened to our show with real Nielsen numbers. And you know, we're participating at the new fronts. The new fronts is a thing that happens in the traditional media industry, where you present your show to networks or distributors. I'm sorry, you present your show from a network to advertisers,
right,
to sponsors. So we're already thinking ahead. We're thinking, how do we make season 1? How do we prove the concept? How do we prove the model? How do we truly make sure that we deliver the most innovative social TV experience that really highlights others in the community and lifts them up, gives them incredible exposure that they would have never gotten before? How do we break new artists and break new bloggers and break new social media consultants, break new coaches? How do we break these people and get them discovered on a higher level? And then how do we take all of that and prove it to real sponsors to spend real money so that we can actually start to show you guys how you can, develop something for your vision. Long story short, we want to create the Never Settle Network. Right. And, if we do this model right, then what we're going to do is we're going to then have a platform to then identify other people that are great talents that are out there that would love to have the same type of environment and same type of platform. And then we'll just like Oprah kind of created, the Dr. Phils and the Rachael Rays, we have visions of wanting to be able to help other people make it there as well. We're going to have a book club. So if you got books and you're an independent author and you're not getting enough traction, but you got a great book, our team is going to take a look at that book. We can't look at all of them, but we're going to take a look at some books. And then we're going to give you a shout out on the air. And it's going to go on the bookshelf. Like, we're trying to really be as integrated a show with people as possible. So we're open to the ideas. I'm big on Twitter. If you got any questions at any time, please hit me up on Twitter. Follow me on Periscope. I'm going to be doing a lot of streaming over the next few days. It's going to be a crazy, crazy time. I mean, look, dude, I'm rolling up my sleeves on Friday and Saturday, and we're putting the set together. Wow. We don't have a network paying for someone to build the set and then I show up. It's real, people. I get 20 of your friends to come and watch the show, sign up for our newsletter, join this movement with us, be a part of this whole experience, and let's make some great history together.
I thought you were going to say get 20 of your friends, grab a box of pizza, and
for all of you that are in New York City, all you that are in New York City, and you would like to volunteer in any way, shape, or form, whether that's with the audience, whether you want to help maybe do coat check because you want to be close to this experience, maybe you're a great photographer and you would love to get more exposure by shooting photography at our red carpet. Guys, this is an opportunity for people to think outside of the box. And I'm kind of shocked that we haven't had a lot of emails coming to us asking, can they do something for themselves? And maybe it's just because people need to see it. And I get that. Maybe it's too conceptual and people have to see it. And once they see it, then they'll come. But if you want to be in front of everybody else, you want to be a part of something when it's in its concept phase, not when everybody else already gets it.
Right. Thank you so much, Mario. I wish you all the best in this, and I know everybody else does too, and we can't wait. April 5th, 7 p.m. Eastern on the Entrepreneur Facebook page. Yes. Get ready, sign up. Go to neversettle.tv, find out more about the show, share it with 20 friends and family members, and can't wait for the first show. Again, April 5th, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's Mario Armstrong. Emmy winner. Emmy winner.
Streams. No poopy streams come Wednesday, April 5th. Come on, guys. No
poopy streams. Thank you so much, Mario. Appreciate you coming on. And all the best with the show, my friend.
Russ, this has meant a lot to not only myself, but to the entire team that's also in here. I mean, some of them are here. I just did a quick, I don't know what it looked like because I can't see.
You just made them famous.
I just did a quick pan. But it means so much to so many people that are also in this chat, and maybe even people that don't even realize what we're trying to do and how we're trying to feature stories of people that have really overcome some relatable challenges. Our show is rooted in relatability and accessibility with action. We want people to really learn from other people that come onto this show. You're going to learn ideas, tips, advice from great people that are willing to share and be very transparent. And I just think we're really trying to set the stage for the most relatable talk show that can really help to empower you. That's not just makes you feel good, actually gives you actionable things that you can go do. And then we're going to hold you accountable because we're going to be asking for you to do that stuff on social and then show it in next week's show. So we're constantly looking at how we can keep you involved. And speaking of that, I'll lastly say that when we're done here, I always go into interviews that I've been a part of, and I'll go into the Facebook comments and I'll start answering some things that are there. So be on the lookout. You'll start to see me reply or like some of your comments, and I appreciate everyone's big support. And Russ and all the other shows. We're going to be on Wine Antics later this week. We're going to be on Sandra Centurino's show later this week. So the live streamers have really been stepping up, and I know that we are a tough-knit community, and I know that we believe in each other, and I know that we as a collective unit have all been in our own areas really trying to do something of impact and of purpose. And I just hope that we make you guys super, super proud with what we're going to deliver on Wednesday.
No doubt. Thank you so much, Mario. Have a great night and all the best with the first show. And thanks, everybody, for joining us. Definitely share it out. Definitely let people know. April 5th, the Never Settle show, neversettle.tv. Have a great night, everybody.
You too. Take care, everybody.